Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, our Candidates in Conversation continues with a candidate running in the Democratic primary in Arizona's 4th Congressional District. Also tonight, we'll look at the state's wildfire forecast, and the Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center is enrolling kids in its community school. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. We begin tonight with our AZ Votes Candidates in Conversation as we hear from a candidate running in the Democratic primary for Arizona's 4th Congressional District. Kai Newkirk is that candidate. He's co-chair of the Democratic Party's Progressive Council. And we should note that the incumbent candidate in the CD4 Democratic primary, Congressman Greg Stanton, was invited to participate tonight, but he did not accept any of the dates offered. Kai Newkirk, good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
You're a Democrat and you're running against a Democratic incumbent. Why?
I think that we're in a time of crisis and emergency for our country. We are living under an authoritarian tyrant. We've had masked agents in the streets shooting down Americans. We've got billionaires with more wealth than entire nations, while the basic costs of living become harder and harder for most of us to afford. We have criminal wars happening and genocide abroad that our nation is complicit in. And I'm running to flip the tables of what I believe is a corrupt and authoritarian status quo. And unfortunately, I think our incumbent has not stood up to that, has not fought it, and in some cases has been complicit in that. And I think most Democrats disagree with that, and they deserve a choice.
How could he have been and could be more aggressive? I mean, it sounds as though you're saying he's not aggressive enough in opposing the president and the administration.
Yes, on many fronts. I mean, last December, after a year of high crimes and misdemeanors, in my view, Greg Stanton voted against impeaching Trump. And I think that's unacceptable. I've been leading in the streets, organizing, protests, pushing back in every way that we can since Trump took office again. And the incumbent joined, I think the first time he joined any Arizonans in the streets was last June, after an emergency unfolding for many months. And in terms of ICE, he voted for the Laken-Riley Act that gave more power to ICE to detain and deport immigrants. Other members of Congress have apologized for that vote. He hasn't yet. And just the other day, he voted to give more power to ICE again to carry out surveillance without any safeguards.
Both U.S. senators, Democratic senators, also voted for the Laken-Riley Act.
Yes, I think they were wrong as well. Attorney General Chris Mays agrees with me, as well as Yasemin Ansari and Adalita Grijalva. And they voted against this bill that Stanton just voted for. Sometimes, there's disagreements in our party, but it's a Democratic party. We have debates, and we're going to legislate these issues. And the vast majority of Democrats agree with me on these questions.
The Laken-Riley Act in particular, undocumented immigrants who are arrested and charged or convicted of property and or violent crimes, they should be detained. That is what the act calls for. Should they not be detained?
Well, what it does, it makes it mandatory detention.
Exactly.
And not only that, but it's even if you're just arrested or charged. So
Yes.
It was a major step in the erosion of due process, which now we've seen go to the extremes of citizens and green card holders and visa holders and veterans being detained, being deported, being abused, and in some cases injured and killed. And this was the first fight around whether we were going to go in that direction of authoritarian mass deportation or uphold the values of the Statue of Liberty. And Stanton was in a minority of Democrats who voted for that and gave a green light to Trump for that authoritarian mass deportation campaign. It's unacceptable.
Not detaining these folks, not mandatory detaining of these folks. Is that what Democrats in this district are looking for?
Absolutely. They're looking for someone who's going to stand up to the abuses from ICE and end them once and for all. In my view, this agency, which was only founded in 2003 after 9/11 to take a counterterrorism approach to the civil matter of immigration, has proven itself to be a disaster. It's a threat not only to the lives, not only to our rights, but to the lives of American citizens as well as immigrants. I think it needs to be disbanded, abolished. We need to restructure how we do immigration enforcement as well as law to put humanity at the center.
Okay, but again, you think that the Democrats in this district would go along with something like that. The general election, do you think the general population, again, this is CD1, this is a relatively moderate but left-leaning district.
Yes.
There are more Republicans than Democrats registered in this district. Mm-hmm. You think that's going to fly?
Absolutely, because people have been horrified by what has happened. I've talked to Trump voters myself who've said, I didn't vote for this. They were concerned about disorder at the border. They wanted something to change there, but they never wanted this kind of authoritarian and violent interior enforcement. And we've got polling as well that shows us that that's why Trump has backed off, because people have been standing up and organizing here in Minneapolis and around the country, but also they've seen the backlash. Nobody wanted to see mothers dragged away from their children, crying and screaming. We trust undocumented immigrants in our country to care for our children, to care for our elders, to grow and serve our food, to build our homes, and yet somehow not to have the full rights be protected in this country and be equal citizens. I think that's wrong and it needs to change, and most Democrats and most Americans are with me.
You mentioned Congressman Stanton complicit with the genocide in Gaza. Before we
Yes.
get too deeply into that, what should the United States have done in response to the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israelis?
Well, we should have been in solidarity with those that were harmed, and we should have tried to help get the hostages out, but we should never have given military aid to a nation that was going to carry out war crimes upon war crimes, crimes against humanity, and now genocide. The war crimes that Hamas carried out on October 7th were not a justification for more of that. And when the International Criminal Court, the same one that most Democrats and Americans lauded when they indicted Putin for war crimes, right? When they indicted Hamas leaders and Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Galan of the Israeli government for war crimes, crimes against humanity, Stanton, do you know what he did? He didn't vote to sanction the war criminals or do something like that. He voted to sanction the International Criminal Court. In my view, that's wrong, and we should not be sending money to get bombs that are crushing and killing children.
He also supports a ceasefire, and he has supported a two-state solution.
Yeah, well, I was part of a delegation to his office in a meeting with Palestinian and Jewish constituents pushing him on that. Months later, he came out with a weak and conditional call for a ceasefire. But time and time again, he has not only voted for unconditional military aid to Israel, no matter how many times they violate our laws, including the Leahy Law, which says we can't give military aid to nations that violate human rights, violating international law as well, and endangering Americans. 13 American soldiers, I believe, have died in the war in Iran now. We would not be in that war if it not for Netanyahu and the Israeli government pushing us to be in that. And he has been, I think you're right, actively complicit in a genocide and war crimes, and Democratic voters have had it with that. They want us to be consistent champions of
I need
human
to stop
rights.
you right there. I did not say that. You said that
okay.
he was actively complicit in genocide.
Yes.
You also mentioned that you were protesting in a certain spot. You have a history of protest, and you've been arrested up to 30 times. Is that true?
Over 25 times.
Okay.
For sure.
Is that a point of pride for you? And again, is that something that voters, Democratic voters now, in this particular district, that they want to see from their representative in Washington?
Well, it's been, those arrests were a nonviolent civil disobedience. And to me, every one of them is a badge of honor, not a mark of shame. My favorite memorial on our National Mall is the one to Dr. King. He was arrested over 29 times in acts of nonviolent civil disobedience and direct action. Dolores Huerta, recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, 25 times as well. And so for me, the question to someone like Stanton or anybody who has an issue is, well, where have you been in the crises and the injustice that's been happening in your country? This is a tool that has been used to win women's suffrage, to end Jim Crow, to win the right to organize for workers or DACA for dreamers. And I've used it alongside many others to fight for justice and peace, and I'm proud of that. And I've been very pleased to see the response from Democrats that we talk to on the doors who are excited about that because they want someone who's going to fight and stand up to Trump's authoritarianism. And I have a record of standing up to injustice, even being willing to put my freedom and my safety on the line.
Do you have a history of compromise? What do you think of the word compromise? Because if you were to go to Congress, you're not going to get your way in a lot of ways, and you have to work with do you work well with other people?
Absolutely.
And can you compromise?
Absolutely. I love the nonviolent tradition that I'm rooted in is fierce and standing up against injustice and saying, no, I will risk even my safety, my freedom, potentially my life. But it always has an open hand to say we're seeking not to destroy anyone. We don't hate anyone. We hate the sin, not the sinner. And we ultimately seek reconciliation. And so I've worked with Republicans in many different campaigns that I've part of. I've worked with people that disagree with me on issues. I love that because it's an opportunity to connect and find our common ground as human beings and people who share interests. And right now, you might be a Republican, you might have voted for Trump, but your utility rates are going up. I want to freeze utility rates. Your grocery prices are going up. I want to ban grocery price gouging. You're getting screwed over fighting with your health insurance company when you're sick. I want Medicare for all. So we have common ground to build. I want to bring costs down and fight for change for all working class people.
Last question real quickly because we're running out of time here. You say he's complicit in genocide. You say that he's not standing up to ICE. You say he's not standing up to Trump. You say he's not standing up to anything. He's not aggressive enough here. Will you support him? Congressman Stanton if he wins the primary?
I've been clear about this. We need an anti-fascist coalition. We have to stop Trump from having a majority. If he wins the primary, I will back him. I would expect him to do the same for me. It's a solid blue seat. Whoever wins the primary will win the general election. We don't take it for granted, but we're confident in it, and I hope that he would say the same to support me as well.
Kai Newkirk, CD4 congressional candidate. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
And our next Candidates in Conversation will be Tuesday, June 9th, as we hear from candidates running in the Democratic primary for Congressional District 1. That's Tuesday, June 9th. And a reminder, all episodes of Candidates in Conversation are live streamed on YouTube at AZPBS Now and can be viewed as well at azpbs.org.
Hi, I'm Catherine Anaya, host of Horizonte, the groundbreaking program that has served as a platform for Arizona's Latino community for more than 2 decades.
Latinos care about issues across the board, just like everyone else.
There's a lot of diversity in thought and opinion. We just need to make sure parents understand the value in having multilingual students.
We like to hear our voices heard. Stream episodes online at azpbs.org, YouTube, or on the PBS app.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
Supporting this PBS station through a gift of stock is easy. To find out more, call the number on your screen or visit this website. Thank you.
Arizona's historically hot temperatures in March, along with continuing drought conditions, could mean an especially difficult fire season throughout the state. And to learn more, we welcome John Truitt from the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management. John, always a pleasure. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Ted.
All right. I asked what kind of wildfire is expected, but I think I know the answer.
Yeah, you know, that March really had us in a panic, really, because of the 100 degrees that we had. We were looking at an early active fire season. Right now, with the average temperature we had, and even below, it's kind of helped us out. I think we're dodging a bullet right now with that weather that's in here right now. Our overnight lows aren't warm enough to carry fire overnight, so we're holding our own right now.
Okay, but the fire season itself, when does it usually start?
You know, about when we start getting fires to carry overnight and those kind of things, it's usually about mid-April, around that range.
And it started a little earlier this go-around?
You know, we've had a small initial attack fires early on. So, yeah, it started us busy, started us consistent with smaller fires.
And it lasts until what, the height of the monsoon?
Until we get the monsoons in, and monsoons have been so inconsistent in the last 5 years that we can't even count on what we call a season-ending event.
Interesting. That's Super El Nino is something that's been talked about. We talked about it on this show. Yeah. Is that something that it's promising, is it not?
Very promising, because we work in the fire service. We're real close with the National Weather Service, and we really rely on their intel. And all the models are looking at, and all the agreements are looking at, that we're going to have a wet monsoon season.
A wet monsoon season, an active monsoon. Doesn't that also mean lightning strikes?
The first part of it, yes. And it's like this last series we just had, we had a lot of lightning out there, real isolated pockets of moisture. So that was a concern for us. But fortunately, none of those strikes really took off.
The impact of urban sprawl, whether it's Phoenix, Flagstaff, all these Tucson, what is that doing as far as fighting wildfires is concerned?
It's putting a real draw on our resources. You know, now you're putting a lot of, we call ignition sources out there where never were before. So now we got urban sprawl outside of protected districts. So that falls on the state. And it's going to be a real big problem because none of the districts are going to be able to absorb those urban sprawl. So it's always going to be out there, going to be a problem for the homeowners. They're not going to be able to get insurance out there. It's going to be very, very tough for that kind of protection.
Interesting. That's a very good point. Also, I remember driving up years ago, driving up the Beeline and further up. The bark beetle infestation was horrendous. I'm assuming it hasn't gotten much better. What's it mean for wildfires?
It just makes that ponderosa stand available now. We're still got canopy with what we call red needle cast on it. Once that falls off, maybe lighten that up, but wherever you see a drought pattern, that's where the bug kill is happening.
As far as wildfires this season, are you expecting more in the high country, more in the grassland, the lower areas? Because sometimes it seems like the deserts get hit, but the high country is okay, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think everything's in play this year. With like I said, we just talked about the bug kill, the drought, everything's in play right now.
What kind of prevention's being done?
A lot of right now, a lot of the counties are in stage 1 restrictions. Probably going to go stage 2 in a few weeks. Public education has been very, very helpful. The public, cooperation has been very helpful. That's why I don't think we've had a lot of big fires right now.
Firefighting personnel, you got enough?
No.
Do you ever have enough?
No.
Do you have even less than you used to have?
We're holding our own, but again, with the drought, the urban sprawl, the population is outpacing our resource status.
And I would imagine the drought covers the West. I mean, other states are going to have their problems too. Usually, you guys kind of cooperate. Would we be able to do that this go around?
It's going to be very, very taxing to do that. Southern California, broke some fires last week. We sent equipment out there, but we couldn't send as much equipment as they wanted. New Mexico had an outbreak of fires. We were very, very limited on resources we could send there. The Deep South, Florida, North Carolina, all of them had fires that we supported. But we can't send as much equipment as we'd like to.
Yeah, the fire coordination though between agencies, that's still there, is it?
Still huge, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Did I read about cameras, about the AI-powered cameras installed around the state, almost as lookouts?
Yeah, we've got some AI cameras out, and they're basically just another tool in our toolbox, help us detect smokes early. And what we look at those smokes is that, how violent is that smoke? That's how we can tell what the fire behavior underneath that is, and it gets us our response resources out there a little bit quicker.
Last question, and again, we're running out of time, so really quickly, if you can. Compare fire prevention efforts up north and down here.
It's widespread. It's Arizona State. Everything's equal. Everything depends on our fire prevention and our fire messaging and all the education.
But if you live up there, keep the trees away as close as you can. But same thing down here, huh?
Exactly. The hardening your structures, all the fire safe zone is the same, and everything needs to be cleared from those structures to help us get in there and defend that structure.
Yeah. John Truitt, Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management. Always a pleasure. Good to see you. Best of luck.
Good to see you, Ted.
The Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center, also known as SARC, is enrolling students for its community school. The goal of SARC's community schools is to emphasize kindergarten readiness by fostering a social environment both in and out of the classroom. Joining us now is Daniel Openden, SARC's president and CEO. Good to see you again.
It's great to see you, Ted.
Thanks for coming in. First of all, did they give a good definition there of SARC? Is that pretty much what SARC is?
Nailed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The community schools for SARC, what are those?
So these are really innovative programs, right? They're a combination of both a high quality and intensive treatment program and then a high quality preschool for typically developing kids. So it's an innovative program in then that our kids with autism are getting treatment in an inclusive environment alongside their peers without autism.
It's fascinating. Talk about why that's important for kids with autism and kids that don't have autism.
So we'll start with the kids with autism. So at the heart of what autism is a social disorder. So it never made much sense to us to take kids with a social disorder and put them around other kids with a social disorder, right? Then nobody's talking, nobody's interacting. Instead, we want them around sort of social experts. They're typically developing kids that have lots of language, lots of communication, lots of good social skills. And we get the benefits of our kids with autism now interacting with those kids. But the typically developing kids have incredible benefits as well. And this is one of the more exciting things for those that might be looking for a preschool starting this fall. First of all, you've got one teacher for every 3 to 4 kids in the classroom. You're not going to find that in any other preschool. You're going to find a really low tuition rate. So our school goes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Most schools are 9 to 1. And our tuition is about $900 a month if you go every single day, 5 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then you get the benefits of a really language-enriched environment. If you talk to any early childhood expert, they'll tell you nothing is more important than early language and literacy. And if we're getting nonverbal or limited verbal kids with autism to talk, you can only imagine what that does with typically developing
Well,
kids.
I think anyone who's been raised around a developmentally disabled person understands, especially in childhood, I think they see the world a little bit differently. I think it actually helps them in ways they don't even realize and may not realize until they become adults.
That's exactly right. You know, at SARC, we say that we are as committed to improving the behaviors and skills of people with autism as we are to improving the behaviors and skills of the communities in which they live. That's why Phoenix has been named the most autism-friendly city in the world. And it starts in the preschool where those typical kids learn alongside their peers with autism.
At preschool, so what kind of age ranges are we looking at here?
So our youngest kids start at 15 months of age. Again, hard to find kids or care that young. And we go all the way up to about 5.5 before kids go into pre-K or kindergarten.
I see it described as play-based curriculum. What does that mean?
What it means is that we're using play as the motivator for teaching all sorts of skills. So for kids with autism, we're using play to motivate kids to learn to talk, to communicate. For typically developing kids, we're using play as a way to motivate them to want to interact with the kids with autism, but also to learn all sorts of academic skills. This is preparing all kids for kindergarten.
Now, are there any kind of requirements for anyone, any child that wants to, the family wants to get them into something like this? What kind of requirements?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the kids with autism have to have a diagnosis for autism, and we can certainly help with that. The typically developing kids, we actually have to verify that they don't have autism.
Interesting.
Right? So we put them through the same assessment protocol because we need to ensure that they're the appropriate models for our kids with autism.
And the school year is how long?
That's a great, this is one of the big advantages of having kids with autism. Autism doesn't take off on holiday breaks. So we are going to finish this school year, the last week of June. We're going to take a 2-week summer break, flip the classrooms, start right up again right after 4th of July. And then we'll run all the year. So where you've got a lot of other schools that have lots of time off, which makes it hard for working parents, we're almost always in session.
And we should mention that there are more than one school out there. You got schools all over the place, don't you?
That's exactly right. So we have 4 community schools now in downtown Phoenix, 18th Street and Van Buren. We're in Tempe at the St. James Episcopal Church at Warner and Wuerl. We are in Scottsdale at 64th and Osborne, and our newest campus was opened last January in East Mesa at Power and McKellips. And we just purchased our 6th campus, which will be our 5th preschool in Tucson, opening next January.
Wow. And you mentioned how the Phoenix area in Arizona, it really is almost ground zero now as far as autism research and development and just understanding, education, the whole 9 yards. How do we get there?
How did we get there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, SARC, I would like to think, has played a big role in that. But really, SARC has tried to be a really good partner, right? So we've got great universities here doing great research. We have other service providers doing really meaningful work. But most importantly, we've worked hard to build an inclusive, supportive community around people with autism. And I think that's what's been the big draw. You can't do this on your own. Having a supportive community, starting with typically kids in our preschool,
Yes.
allows you to really build that for everybody in our community.
And these preschools, these schools have been around how long?
The first one opened in 2006.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right. So where do we learn more about the schools? Someone watching right now, they think, this might be a good idea for us.
The easiest way is to go to our website. It's autismcenter, as one word, .org. And right at the top, there's a button that says Request Services. You hit that button, fill out a couple of questions. We'll have somebody from our team call you. You can also just call our main line at 602-340-8717.
All right. Very good. Daniel Openden, again, Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center. I like to call it SARC.
You got it.
It's a lot easier. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Because kids will always be more curious, Arizona PBS delivers programs that serve as a trusted guide for little explorers. Thanks to you and...
Welcome to Friendship Village. Let me show you around.